Metalheads, and welcome to another episode of the Harsh Vocals Podcast. Today, Christian and I are joined by Tómarúm, one of our favorite black metal bands from the US, who have just put out an incredible new album called Beyond Obsidian Euphoria that Christian and I talked about quite a bit on the last episode, if you heard it. You know, we've been huge fans of you guys for years, pretty much since Ash and Realms of Stone Icons came out. I was telling you right before the show started, it's one of my favorite black metal albums that's come out in the last decade, and I listen to it all the time. I'm feeling the same way about Beyond. I've been listening to it pretty much nonstop for the last 2 weeks, and I don't see that stopping by the end of the year. I'm fairly sure it's going to end up very high on my end of year list.
Thanks so much.
Yep, mine as well. It's so insanely well done, and discover new things about it every single listen, which is just a testament to a very finely crafted album. And trust me, we have a lot of questions about just its level of density.
We really do.
Pretty incredible.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Well, so we're joined on the episode today by Kyle, Brandon, and Matthew, all from the band. You guys are all the guitarists for the band, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
So why don't you guys introduce yourselves a little bit so our listeners can know whose voice goes with who, and then we'll dive right in.
Yeah, I'm Kyle. I am guitar and vocals, and I guess like the quote unquote like founding person of the band.
Yeah, I'm Brandon. I play guitar and do vocals as well.
And I'm Matt. I also play guitar and do a little bit of vocals on the album on the last song.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I heard a rumor that every single person in the band did vocals in some capacity on this album. Is that true?
Yep, that's correct. The very last song, Becoming the Stone Icon, that like huge, like clean vocal harmony, that's all 5 of us at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super fun to record and see come together in the final product.
Well, Ash and Realms of Stone Icons came out in 2022. I've been listening to it pretty much nonstop, but it sounds very, very different from what you get with Beyond Obsidian Euphoria. They're both excellent progressive black metal, but I feel like Ash is a very accessible album. Like if you're already familiar with progressive black metal and you listen to it, it's not that challenging to absorb it and appreciate it, even for people that are hearing it for the first time. Beyond Obsidian Euphoria, though, is a much more complex and deep album that is very challenging, I feel like, but it's also very rewarding. You know, I've probably listened to it nearly 40 times at this point. I know Christian's right around the same number. And we've gotten to the point now where it's like every single listen, we're finding new things to appreciate. And the album just seems to get better and better with each repeat listen. What was the songwriting process like between the two albums? How did it end up so different?
So the first album was largely me writing. I wrote a lot of the material before I like brought Brandon into the band and before Matt and Chris and Michael were in the picture as well. And that was also, Ash was also like my first attempt writing music. So going into Beyond, all of us had writing on Beyond. It was like a very collaborative process. Me and Brandon still wrote like a very large chunk of the material, but a lot of it we wrote like at the like downstairs in our like home studio setup, like together. So a lot more influences coming into the fold, and then we also just kind of wanted to try. I guess we kind of wanted to make like a larger than life concept album that kind of fit where we're at in our lives, and the continuation of the story from Ash, where like Ash conceptually was more me like dwelling on trauma and my like struggles with mental health and everything. Whereas this album kind of represents the beginning of the journey towards healing and all of the ups and downs and twists and turns to that can take. So we really wanted to make a record that like sonically represented kind of how massive and big of an undertaking that journey can be.
Wow. Yeah, that definitely comes through. I mean, you hear a lot of those themes, you know, built into the new album about moving forward, I guess. And it's almost uplifting in some ways. Some of the songs versus Ash is a lot more darker, I feel like. But as an inverse, I kind of feel like Beyond is a lot more aggressive, at least in some of the vocals.
Yeah, no, we were really going for something really fiery, and just I think the aggression came through just because we maybe consciously and subconsciously wanted to embody that triumph and those themes with just something even more intense and aggressive. But also, I feel like there are points that are actually even more subdued and quiet than the first one. So I think it's like we just kind of wanted to make it even more dynamic than the first one. And in response to your question about the writing process, like Kyle said, it was a lot more collaborative this time around. So we essentially all have input on the record, and our drummer Chris did a lot of arranging as well. And that really shaped the way that the record came out as well. So yeah, we just really focus a lot on dynamics. And I think the aggression you're mentioning is, it comes from that kind of pursuit of the ups and downs that we, are both in the themes and in the music.
Yeah, I can hear that. So with the actual songwriting, how do you guys approach it as a group? Does one person write lyrics and then you kind of build the song around the lyrics, or do the music come first and the lyrics come second? Or do you come up with a song title and then build off that?
I'd say it starts with the
kind
riff.
of a mix of all three. It mostly starts with riffs. Well, I won't write lyrics or come up with song titles generally until a song is structured. So it'll always kind of start with me and Brandon and Matt kind of like jamming stuff out on guitar and building songs around that. Chris and Michael helping and adding their input as well. And then when I'm writing lyrics, I'll like go in after the song is like mostly structured, and I'll write lyrics and then derive the song title from that. But there were also like we had the album title like already decided on before we started writing the lyrics, because so we had some ideas kind of brewing of like what the concept was going to be and what kind of the imagery and the symbolism and the lyrics would be. So we had our kind of plan of attack for the lyrics, and then we just executed on that as we were going.
So where did Beyond Obsidian Euphoria as the album title come from?
Yeah, so Obsidian Euphoria is kind of, I guess, my big metaphor for like suicide. So, and then obviously the Beyond is moving past that, but the Obsidian Euphoria kind of juxtaposing like that bleak, dark Obsidian with the release that I felt like I would get from committing suicide around like when I was writing Ash, and moving past that and becoming like a stronger, like hopefully happier person.
You can definitely hear that. I mean, your lyrics are very, philosophical and introspective already. And we noticed that, both of these albums are concept albums. So how do you put those two things together? How do you come up with the idea for these concepts?
I think it just kind of happens. I feel like it just kind of happens naturally as we're writing. Me and Brandon especially are like really into like fantasy novels, like big fantasy series and like RPGs that are just like ginormous in scope. And we like to have that reflect in our music and our lyrics and everything as well. And we like super like abstract, like verbose lyrics as well, and long song titles and all of that. So it's just kind of all of the stuff that we love and we're passionate about kind of presenting itself in the art that we create.
Speaking of that, what's some of your favorite fantasy series? I'm actually a big fantasy series fan myself.
Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn by Tad Williams is my number one. I'm going through Wheel of Time for the first time right now, and I'm just like all in on that. I'm fucking loving that.
Yeah, I read that when I was like 11 years old, and I've kind of gone back to it like 3 or 4 times. Have you watched the show?
I haven't. I'm like not super interested in the show because I feel like it's not going to represent, because what I would want out of the show is just like everything from being able to visualize everything that's in the books, and I know that's not what I'm going to get. But if I decide to watch it, it won't be until I finish the books.
Yeah, that's a good way to approach it. There's a lot of hate from book fans that are watching the show because they had to change so many things just to make the show work. But at its core, it's kind of the same story, and it's still a pretty good show. I think if you read the books, though, you'll get a lot more out of it. So it's cool. It's a really good series. I also recommend King Killer Chronicles if you read those. They're really good.
Yeah, I have that on my list.
Yeah, Patrick Rothfuss is super talented. I just don't know if he's going to finish the series.
Yeah, I have that. I have that on the list also, but I'm reading Sanderson's Cosmere right now, so that's going to keep me pretty busy. And then, yeah, I've done a few of the Wheel of Time books, but I haven't read all of them. Just read the first few, but that was like over 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's really good in the beginning, and then the middle is good, but there's kind of like a little bit of a lull, and then the end is just spectacular. Like pushing through those last like 4 or 5 books is, you can't consume them fast enough.
Awesome.
I could actually talk about fantasy stories for a while, so we better move on.
You mentioned RPGs and stuff. So are you guys big fans of like From Software games? Because I kind of get those vibes.
Yeah, me and Matt are.
Oh yeah, I've been the first From Software game I played was Demon Souls. It was right before Dark Souls came out, but I think Demon Souls was like free with PlayStation Plus, and my best friend at the time was just begging me to get it, and I downloaded it, and I was just hooked from the minute I stepped foot into that world. I was like, this is so fun. And it's funny too, because it's like I had no other outside input telling me what to feel about those games. So like I didn't understand that people thought that they were like these, oh god, they're so hard and insurmountable challenge, because like to me they just played like classic video games. Mm-hmm. Where it's like you have to utilize all the tools that it gives you. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, this is cool. It's like a mentally stimulating game in the early 2010s. It's a miracle. But yeah, and big fan.
Yeah, I can definitely see some vibes similar in Tómarúm's music to some of those games. I never played any of the earlier ones. I played Bloodborne, and then I played Elden Ring, but I love both of those.
Bloodborne is the sauce.
Yeah.
that is good stuff.
Too hard for me. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I have to stick to Diablo, where I can just feel OP the entire fucking time. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love pretty much all types of like any sort of role playing games. Whether it be like straight action RPG like From Software, or like turn based, like Baldur's Gate, or Advanced Wars. I don't know if anyone's played Advanced Wars, but that was like the game you could get on your Game Boy Advanced, and it was turn based, and it was sick.
Matt, I didn't even know you had a Game Boy. What the hell?
Oh yeah, man. You could just call me Game Boy.
What?
Yeah.
So I imagine it's a lot of fun, all of you living together. You know, how much of it is music focused, and how much of it is like just hanging out all the time, having a good time?
Whenever we try to just hang out, it always devolves into writing music.
And that's just like what we like to do for fun. So
yeah,
we kind of just kill 2 birds with 1 stone with that.
Someone will just randomly have like a good idea, and then it'll just spiral from there. Guitar Pro is just such an amazing program where you can just kind of realize your vision with like the drums and the bass and everything as like scratch parts or whatever. You like put it together and like really imagine like what it's going to sound like with the MIDI and everything. And it's just so inspiring.
Yeah, it's gotta be cool. It's like
I live like
think tank, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, I live like 10 minutes down the road from Chris, Kyle, and Matt, so I'm over there pretty frequently, and we plan sessions. And yeah, we've had times where we're like, "Yo, we should hang out," and we'll jam some records, or we'll like kind of talk for a while. But then we always end up like picking up the guitar, or like saying, "Hey, we should work on this thing that we're doing," or whatever. Touring is the same way. Like, and I'm sure you guys have questions about that, but touring is the same. Like, we're just absolute like maniacs on the road. But a lot of it, we actually finished the lyrics for the or more or less finished the lyrics for Beyond while we were on tour with Inferi, First Fragment, and Summoning the Lich. So it even with us like being all crazy and goofy and actually hanging out on the road, we actually were still working on music. So it kind of doesn't really stop.
That's awesome, though. I mean, it's cool that you can not only make such amazing music, but that you have fun doing it.
Yeah, that's the important part, really. that you enjoy what you're doing. And, you know, it's pretty obvious y'all are really good friends. So, you know, that just seriously feels like you're just, you know, you're not necessarily in a band. You're just hanging out with your friends all the time. And you all just happen to play music.
It's awesome.
We are incredibly fortunate.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when Kyle said Ash was a very first attempt at writing music, I was just thinking back to my first attempt at writing music.
Yeah. Oh, like, yeah, dude.
You know,
oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
If that's your first attempt. My first attempt was farting on a snare drum or something, apparently. Jesus Christ, I couldn't have even thought of something like that.
I think my second or third attempt is on the internet somewhere, and I'm trying to block it out of my memory.
Oh yeah, we all have those traumatic releases.
Well, there's a very distinct reason I'm a factory worker and I do podcasts. So
yeah, I gave up my musicianship dreams a long time ago too, for the same reason.
Yeah,
nothing I wrote was ever that good.
No, it was not. So, well, getting back to the music, can you tell us anything more about the overall concept of your new album?
Brandon, is there anything you want to add? I feel like I've talked a lot about it.
Anything extra about the album?
The concept of the whole thing.
The concept. Together. Yeah. No, I mean, I think we pretty much went over all the pertinent details. I mean, yeah, just about, I guess the only extra thing is that we're kind of starting to expand lyrically in the sense that we're kind of like getting influence from, like, at this point, almost everyone with the lyrics. And it's kind of becoming like an emotional outlet for all of us in a way. I feel like it's going in that direction, which I think is really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, when Matt and I started talking about this on Twitter a few days ago, he was telling me how each song, even though it is such a dense album, each song has its own individual emotional attachment for him. And like he has, you know, different feelings and very strong feelings about each particular one. I mean, Matt, do you want to chime in and talk about maybe some of the songs on the album that are most important to you and why?
Yeah, absolutely. So Silver Ash and Tears, I actually have a couple lyric credits on. That ending where Kyle is doing his I want to say like ranting vocals, where it's like they're just coming out like pretty fast, and then he has that absolutely beautiful solo following up after it.
Yep.
Just I remember the words the end of my suffering, like kind of echoing through my mind, like, oh man, that'd be a pretty cool thing for someone to like scream on a record. Because I think I mentioned I was going through a really tough time during the writing process of this record. I don't have a lot of credits because most of my time I was just spent like rotting in my bed in my room, just like job troubles and all kinds of shit going on. But I remember like towards the end, which is when we're writing these lyrics, I was like feeling hopeful again. And I was like, it'd be really cool if we had a moment on the record where like all of these feelings are just spilling out, and it had these words. And I think we tried to write it a little bit, and then it ended up not being enough lyrics. And so Kyle was like, I'll just put a solo there, and then he just busts out this like incredible solo that just totally captures what the lyrics were saying and the vibe. And then on top of that, this was before Chris came in and just rearranged the entire end of that song, still talking about a Silver Ash and Tears. And his rearrangement just made that song from one of my, like, this is a cool song, but I feel like it's kind of weak to, as compared to the rest of the album, to, it's my favorite song on the album right now. I think it has everything. And it's also, the album's set up into 4 sections. Silver Ash and Tears is also the one that is its own section. It's a pretty long song. It's almost 11 minutes. And it has that vibe that the Ash songs had, where it has a sense of finality. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. It has an amazing clean vocal section, harmony with Kyle and Brandon. And then it has an amazing like clean section where Brandon's like beautiful voice is just filling the air and everything. Like it just has everything. I have a solo in it. That's always cool. And then Blood Mirage. That one's a little special to me because it was like the first like riffs or so I wrote for the album, and it was very difficult because interestingly enough, a lot of the drums were written before the guitars were, and Chris was like, I want this beat. And it was the most nonsensical, crazy drum beat I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And so we're all downstairs and everyone's just eyes all on me. And I just start like playing and just trying to come up with something. And at first I was like, I don't know about it, but it's really grown on me. And now I'm just like really proud of it, and currently having to relearn it right now because we recorded the album almost 2 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah, it took a long time to come out, and it's a lot of fun to play. Then there's other songs like song 1, Obsidian Overture, my first guitar solo in the band. I was really nervous because Kyle and Brandon are both incredible guitar players, and
don't count yourself out.
Thanks, bro.
Dude has liquid gold in every riff. For the past decade we've been playing together, like literally every riff is always a banger, and I've never heard him like write a bad riff. So yeah.
Oh, I can come up with a few. But no, it was my first solo on the record, and I spent a lot of time with it. And I was like asking Brandon for like pointers and everything because he's an amazing lead player, and it's just not something I'm super used to, or I wasn't used to at the time. I'm a bit better at it now, and seeing that come together and like recording it and everything was just really emotional. I was like sending clips of it to my girlfriend, like I did it, like she was like, I'm so proud of you. And it was great, and yeah, I could go on. The Final Pursuit of Light, some of the like darker riffs on that, I just sometimes just put it on and blast it in my car, and it's cool to like, it's crazy that I'm still not tired of it. I'm not tired of the album, even though we've lived it for almost 3 years now.
Well, me and Justin have lived with it for about 2 weeks now, and it's still growing. Like I was telling Kyle before we started this, it is hands down one of the prettiest quote unquote black metal albums I've ever heard. The level of emotion, the atmosphere, there's just so much going on this album. It's a testament. It really is. It's shockingly, I shouldn't say shockingly good, because your first album was amazing as well. So, but yeah, it's an amazing fucking album.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
So one of the things you were talking about is the vocal delivery on Silver Ash and Tears. The clean vocals. There's also that section where it's clean, and then like every, I don't know, 6th or 7th word, there's the shouted vocals over the cleans. I thought that was a really interesting approach to the vocal delivery, because you didn't do anything like that on the first album. Unless I'm confusing the tracks.
I don't think that was I know there is a part in Silver Ash and Tears where it goes back and forth between harsh vocals and clean vocals like pretty quickly, like earlier on in the song. There is in Shallow Ecstasy, the third song on the record, the chorus has like the really raspy clean vocals that kind of go back and forth between the rasp and like harsh vocals and stuff like that.
That might be the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the studio and Kyle was tracking that chorus, and I was like, what if you threw in a scream, like on like some of the more like emotional words or whatever, and just to try it out. And we just really liked the sound of it. That's another thing. We always just try stuff.
Yeah, I had the main like clean vocal melody in my head going into the studio on that day. So I knew like generally what I was going to do. And I knew I was going to like at least attempt to sing it with like a bit of rasp, because that's like at the very high end of my singing range. And to hit the higher notes is definitely like easier to like use a little bit of rasp. But like putting the harsh vocals in between and then like ending each like vocal line, or ending like each vocal line with like the more melodic, like softer vocals, that was all kind of just like impromptu in the studio, trying stuff and seeing what stuck.
That's cool.
I kind of refer to that part as the fall of Troy part in my mind, because it kind of has like and like one person, I think it was on either the when the single came out on the YouTube video or on the album stream, like said that about it, and I was like, yes, dude. I was like, that's so cool that someone else feels the same way, because I love that band, and I don't know, for some reason it gives me that vibe, and I just love like the mix of like the black metal, like kind of proggy stuff there, and like those like almost like mid 2000s like clean vocals. I just really like the way it sounds. It sounds really fucking sick.
Well, speaking of other bands, who are you guys' biggest influences? I'm sure you listen to a lot of, diverse music as well.
Oh, Kyle and I are probably going to have the same or a lot of similar answers.
Yeah, I'm like mainly like a black metal person. I'm probably the biggest black metal nerd that I know. But as far as like big inspirations, like Agdalok and Wolves in the Throne Room have always been huge for me. Emperor Enslaved has been gigantic for both me and Brandon with like more of the proggy stuff. Bortnagar is also pretty big for me.
You're just naming all my favorite bands.
Lamp of Murmur has been like a recent favorite, like past probably 5-6 years. I got into him like right as he was putting out the demo tapes. He's phenomenal. He's a friend of mine too now, and he's just a super nice guy, super talented, super knowledgeable about black metal.
Set that tour up too.
Kind of thing. What'd you say?
Set that tour up too.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I mean, I would love to.
Oh,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, if Lamp is listening.
But,
oh man, yeah, yeah, that'd be so sick.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I also love a lot of like early 2010s USBM. So like bands like Tukaria and Odds Manuk, that kind of circle from like out west. I love stuff like that. Me and Brandon both love a lot of like Eastern European like 90s black metal as well. So like a lot of the pagan stuff. There's this band Apocalypse from Lithuania that put out like one album in, I think, before I was even born, that is one of my favorites now, that is just like fucking phenomenal. So just like a wide range of black metal. And then early Opeth, like Marum Rehearse era is also pretty big for me.
It's Apocalypse or Apocalypse?
Apocalypse, Poccolus.
I'm going to check that out because you named like 50 bands that I love. So if you like it, it's probably good.
Yeah, you say you're the biggest black metal nerd you know. Justin's the biggest black metal nerd I know. So,
yeah.
And if you want to go thrash, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be Matt's territory.
Kind of.
Thrash is unfortunately not my forte.
Mine either. I love black metal. Always have. What are you?
I'm an old guy.
I'd be happy to know Brandon and Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's Opeth, like 110%. Michael is the reason I still play guitar. I just remember like around like 2013, I just was so uninspired after like my first two bands just didn't work out. And I was wondering if it was even for me. And I just remember, I don't know how or why Blackwater Park kept like popping up on like social media and everything. But I decided to check it out. I think because of a meme. It was like, oh, I don't listen to pretty music, but I listen to this or whatever. And I was like, oh, I wonder how that sounds like. And then within like 2 minutes of the Leper Affinity, I'd order like 4 CDs. And yeah, I just like his voice, his guitar playing, and just everything just spoke to me so much. And at that time, I didn't know how to do screams or anything, but I was like, I think I could do that. And just kind of taught myself how to do vocals and everything. Then met Brandon shortly after, and just completely reinvigorated my passion for music and everything. So Opeth is probably going to be my favorite band until I die. I've loved everything they put out for like probably Sorceress, but the rest of them I absolutely love. Like Incauda Venenum, the Last Will and Testament that they just put out is incredible. My Arms Your Hearse, of course. Blackwater Park will probably still always be my favorite just because of where I was at the time and when I listened to it.
It's the best one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a huge Opeth fan as well, and I've said on multiple occasions, like the whole song is great. The song Deliverance, the whole song is great, but the last 5 minutes are just absolutely musical perfection. I mean,
yeah.
And seeing that live, holy shit, is that such a great song live?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to catch them play Master's Apprentices. I'm trying to catch them play it. It hasn't happened yet.
Nope.
Other musical influences though, definitely Gorguts. Oh my goodness, just again another musician where like everything he does, I'm just so like invested in and enamored with. And then he picked up with Colored Sands, he picked up Colin Marson and Kevin Hufnagel, and I started diving into their music and everything, and with like Crawless and Behold the Octopus, and then Kevin Hufnagel's like Dysrhythmia and his like solo stuff. And Kevin Hufnagel has like his YouTube videos where he's like playing the ukulele, and it's just like I now have respect for the ukulele, because it's just like I didn't know you could make such beautiful music with it. Yeah, I'll let Brandon have a turn.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Opeth is huge. Matt showed me Opeth when I was deep in like tech death and like brutal death metal and stuff, and that's where like I started. I'm from Quebec, so all the Quebec scene, Augury, Beyond Creation, Cathedras, anything Philippe Suga does. I mean, that's like biggest inspiration on guitar right there. So love all the hometown heroes and stuff like that. That really is what got me started. So all your prog and tech death from Quebec, obviously. But yeah, then for sure, like Opeth, Enslaved, Isan, all the prog, just really sophisticated, like intricate music. For me, it has to have riffs. Like if you have riffs with like dynamic arrangements, then and like shred, I'm all there, So that's kind of where a lot of that influence comes from. I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, Kyle mentioned black metal. Yeah, we love Eastern European stuff. We love the Scandinavian stuff too. And I've been listening, at least recently, I've been listening to a lot of Ulcerate, that new Ulcerate album.
Cutting the Throat of God. It's really good.
Yeah, dude. I've loved Ulcerate since I heard Shrines of Paralysis when I was like a junior in high school. But yeah, the new one, I'm just like totally enamored by, especially the song, what is it called? Further Opening the Wound or something like that. I think it's the third song. There's like a point in the middle that's just absolutely like fucking crushing with like riffs and like the dissonance and stuff. And then I gotta look through like what I've been jamming recently, or what else we got. Yeah, the new Imperial Triumphant album. Also one thing worth mentioning too is Catatonia. They were a huge influence on my clean vocals for this album that we just put out. So I can see that. I love Moods, almost like, how do I put it? Like he doesn't go crazy with his voice. Like it's in like the same kind of box that sounds very resolute to me, but I like that. I like that it's very in that, just it stays in those first like 3, 4, 5 notes of like a minor scale, for example. Like I love that kind of close harmony and resolute kind of sound. And I've talked these guys' ears off about it. So yeah, those are kind of like the main influences, the Quebec scene, the prog stuff from Europe, black metal, all that kind of shit. So
that's cool. It's a lot of diverse stuff.
I'll also jump back in and add the Icelandic black metal too, is also huge for me, like Sinmara and Mystirming, a lot of stuff like that. Like,
oh yeah,
nice.
And
there's
Kyle.
One of the reasons Tómarúm has an Icelandic name is because of how obsessed I am with that scene.
Kyle got me into a band called Vospus, and that's probably my favorite black metal band. I would say the riffs literally just like are what I hear in my head when I think of like chordal harmony and or just harmony in general. I mean, chords and stuff like that. Like, so a lot of that is like kind of making its way into a lot of the writing that at least I'm personally doing recently. So yeah, the Icelandic stuff is absolutely magical.
Well, just for our listeners who may not know, what does Tómarúm mean?
It's Icelandic for like empty space or void or any kind of word like that.
All right. From all the bands that y'all for all the bands y'all mentioned, are any of y'all fans of the band In Vain? Because I could see y'all being a big fan of In Vain.
I've heard that name a million times, but I haven't listened.
Oh, you should definitely listen to it. I mean, we're already writing down shit because you're mentioning some stuff that, I mean, Justin and I listen to a metric shit ton of music. On average, 80 albums a week. So, and some of these are shit we've never heard of before. So, we definitely need to check this out.
Do they have like one album?
In Vain has
five albums. Most recent one came out last year. It was called Solemn, and it was very close to being our album of the year, and ended up in like the number 3 spot for me and the number 2 spot for Christian, I believe.
I found them.
I just found them as well. It looks like they had a ex-member who was in Funeral, And I fuck with what is that one album? Is it Tragedies from Funeral? So that's pretty fucking sick. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're progressive black and death metal.
The artwork.
Their stuff's really good. I think you guys will dig it.
Yeah. I mean, if you just listen to one song on there, just listen to Shadows Flap, and if that doesn't instantly hook you, I will be absolutely shocked.
All right, I will save that. Thank you for the recommendation. Yeah, I've definitely heard of this band, but I've never jammed them.
'Cause they also do some of the stuff that y'all do. They have like 5 different people sing vocals and different people doing solos, and I think there's 6 people in the band, and unfortunately one of them just passed away from cancer. But yeah, didn't mean to bring everybody down, but yeah, that kind of sucked. But yeah, phenomenal band. They're another band that's been around for quite a while. We actually interviewed Yonar early on, and
Early last year.
I think it was our very first interview that we did.
Yeah,
for
I believe
the show.
so. Yeah.
And super nice guy, super talented, and yeah, just a great band all the way around.
Well, I want to circle back a little bit because we brought up the ukulele.
Yeah.
Got to bring it back to the ukulele.
So you guys obviously do a lot of experimenting. You incorporate a lot of odd elements into your music. How far would you push it? Would you ever do something like bring a ukulele into a song? Is there?
And it made sense. Like that's my threshold. Is like if it works and it makes sense, then why not?
Oh man, the way Kevin played it in some of those videos, absolutely. I mean, you can make some really dark, atmospheric parts with that, and it just has like such a unique sound. Especially if you drench it in reverb and everything. That's my gosh! But I don't think I'm smart enough to make it work. I pick up the 7-string guitar and I make riff.
I think something we could experiment with. I mean, nothing necessarily is off the table, like Kyle said. I always love seeing when like you look at like credits for like an album and you see like that like certain members played like certain like kind of exotic instruments. Like, are you guys familiar with Flesh Vessel? Do you know that band?
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, so like I think one of them I think it's the newest album. Like one of the members is credited as playing a Puerto Rican door harp or something. And I thought that was like so interesting because I was like, man, all these people are playing all these different instruments, and it really shines. Like it's really interesting and dynamic. Absolutely love that band, by the way. Super sick. But yeah, I think it would be cool. Not only just for the atmosphere, but for the fact that it's like, I'm sure someone somewhere or a review, if that ever happened, they'd be like, yo, and this album has fucking ukulele on it. You know what I mean?
It'd probably be us. I mean,
yeah, no, I was going to say,
you
guys
do it after this,
Oh no, we'll definitely
I'll do it on the Billie Eilish signature Fender ukulele.
Nice.
Real thing.
Yes, I want one.
Fuck yeah.
I want one so bad.
I love her.
I mean, I never thought a full horn section would work on a black metal album, but then In Vain does it, White Ward does it. You're just okay. Well, go ahead, add it in there. Who the hell knows?
Yeah,
I think my first exposure to any sort of blackened metal was The Satanist, and the song "Blow Your Trumpets, Gabriel" at the end of it, with all the horns and everything coming in, and then those like extremely fast blast beats. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. And so that made me go down the black metal rabbit hole. Was actually thanks to the horns.
One thing that's like worth mentioning too, just on that orchestral subject that just popped in my brain, I just wanted to mention. I really like it because orchestral elements are used a lot in a lot of metal, and I'm not saying that a lot of it like sounds the same, but like just by virtue of a lot of people doing it, there's like a lot of that, and I love it. We did it on our first record, and even a little bit on this one. It's a great texture. But like, for example, when you isolate some of those instruments and you group them in ways that are kind of like unorthodox, and let's say you only have like a horn section, I love that kind of stuff. So like, those kinds of like layers and instrumentations, I think are things that we want to, continue incorporating and messing around with. And Kyle and I have even talked about doing even more like electronic kind of stuff, depending on where, certain future stuff takes us, like kind of in the vein of like Plebeian Grandstand and, stuff like that, like really like like almost like a slight industrial kind of twang or like edge to certain things. Nothing set in stone, but like just on that topic, we love like all the multi-instrumentalist kind of variation and dynamics that all that kind of stuff brings. So
yeah, I do too. I mean, like we talk all the time about how black metal is the most malleable of all the genres because you can kind of incorporate anything into it, music-wise, instrument-wise, and it'll work. You know, it doesn't always work to the same level depending on who the musician is, obviously, but like you give Isan, you know, pretty much any instrument, he can make it work.
I also feel like, you know, a lot of black metal musicians, even though a lot of people who are into black metal have the stereotype of being like elitist or like, you know, closed-minded and they only want like cult riffs from like the early 90s or whatever. I also find that like generally, to your point, a lot of that experimentation kind of does happen in black metal in like an almost avant-garde way. Whereas I feel like in death metal, it kind of doesn't happen as much. And it's kind of only just now kind of, you know, starting to happen in the past decade.
I agree. And honestly, I think that the whole elitist black metal thing is kind of subsiding as time goes by. I mean, I'd still probably say it's like 10 to 15% of the, you know, population that listens to black metal are elitists. But there's a lot of people that are open to experimentation and a lot of new, diverse black metal music. Because, I mean, we listen to everything that comes out pretty much, and I'm heavily involved in all the social media online. So I get a pretty good sample size of, you know, what people like and don't like. And I see those people. But I also see so many more people that are just like raving about all the new progressive albums and things that are coming out that are not necessarily restricted to that classic black metal sound. So, I mean, it's moving in that direction. But you're right about death metal. It's been very kind of stagnant for years. You know, the dissonant stuff I think is really cool. Mm-hmm. I really like that the groove-infused death metal has become so prevalent over the last couple of years because it's really fun.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of experimentation. There's not a lot of, like, including, you know, saxophone with your death metal album. You know, Rivers of Nile is probably the only one I can think of that, you know, is doing something unique in that regard.
There's also Ingurgitating Oblivion, and like I mentioned earlier, Flesh Vessel, like those kinds of death metal focused bands. You see more of them popping up now, like that are doing more experimentation and stuff, which I think is really cool.
I think the new Blood Incantation is going to get a lot of people inspired to try new things as well.
I think that's a weird gateway album too, because it's gotten so many people that don't like metal to check out metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed my dad like the Pink Floyd part with, I think it's the guy from Sigyn. Is that the band? Like, I think that's what the vocalist there, the band that he's from. But I showed my dad that part, and like my dad's like not really into metal, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is great," and he like added it to his playlist. so and you know, my dad's like an '80s like dance music like guy and like classic rock. So like, you know, it's pretty freaking cool to see, you know, bands doing that kind of experimentation, and they're a huge influence on Lunar Chamber as well. So, you know, huge props to them. We love that band.
Very cool.
Well, I've noticed from doing this that, you know, like we talk about the black metal the way it is. I think the reason that it is the way it is now is just not in a bad way, but I think way more nerdy dudes are into black metal, you know, like what we were talking about earlier, you know, with fantasy novels and, you know, video games and stuff. It's way more filled with people that are, you know, that would, you know, in the 80s probably would have been picked on in high school, you know, like.
Sure.
And so I think that's all part of it, because like you don't have any preconceived notions about what it should be. You're just trying to make something that appeals to you, and that maybe you've gotten influences from a Souls-like game or whatever. And, you know, if you're playing that for hours on end, you know, the music in the background is probably seeping into your consciousness, you know. So even small stuff like that will, you know, trigger itself. I mean, when I was talking to the lead singer and lead guitarist from Wayfair, you know, I was trying to get an idea of like, how the fuck do you mix Western country music with black metal? And he's like, yeah, it was just a thing, and we just went with it. And like we don't preclude
on paper it shouldn't work,
anything,
but it does.
Yeah.
Whereas kind of stuff just happens. A lot of Tómarúm sound is just kind of like mixing the tech death with the more black metal stuff. Like that, just for me, that just kind of happened. I just like, it wasn't like a conscious like, oh, I should put some tech riffs in in this black metal song. It just happened. And I think we liked where it was going, and we just kept doing it.
And that's the best way to do it. Just, hey, this sounds good. Let's try this. You know,
I love that you guys don't limit yourselves and you're open to anything, because the experimentation is obviously working. You know, what you guys have put out, while it is a very challenging record and maybe not the most accessible to somebody who's listening to it for the first time, it greatly rewards repeat listens. So I love it. I hope you guys keep making music for a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is the plan for sure.
Speaking of Western influences, like spaghetti Western like influences in metal, I remember the first time L'Enfant Sauvage came out from Gojira, and the song Explosia at the end, where it's like doing that groove or whatever, and then it has Joe's like guitar with like the slap back like delay doing it sounds a little like generic Western, but it just works so well with the part. I was like, someone needs to do something with this sound. And then Wayfarer, I found Wayfarer. I've always wanted to incorporate something like that in my mind, because I love Westerns as well. I just think that whole aesthetic and everything is so cool.
It is.
I used to watch like all like the Western like classic movies and stuff when I was a kid, and you know.
Damn, man, I didn't even know that. That's like that's some deep lore, dude. I only recently watched Tombstone for the first time.
Oh my god!
And I was like, dude, this is one of the fucking best movies I've ever seen.
So good.
It's a fantastic.
It's so
movie.
good, man.
Dude, rest in peace, Val Kilmer, dude. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is literally the coolest shit ever. Like, no wonder Wayfarer was like, let's make a band about this.
Oh yeah. All those like old like Clint Eastwood films are sick, and then like more modern ones like 310 to Yuma. That movie is amazing. Then of course like Western games. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 is just like, they just freaking nailed that, and I'm scared that no other developer is gonna want to like try after that game came out, but I hope they do, because like it's the fashion, the aesthetic, the everything is like it's just so cool. But I think that sound could work with metal really well. And it'd be like really fun to listen to.
Well, if you have, I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with Wayfarer, but if you haven't listened to them,
we've played a couple shows with them, I think.
Oh, really? That's
We played with them in Atlanta like twice, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they've always been wildly entertaining. I love that band.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of touring, you guys have a tour coming up. You guys are hitting the road with Sidon, and we're huge fans of them. We've interviewed Splatterpunk when the last album came out. And how did that tour come about?
So that kind of came out of our current agent, Cody, if you're listening to this, you're the fucking man, you rule. But Cody hit us up before we were like really working with him. I've known him for years. He books Mass Destruction Metal Fest in Atlanta. He's been a friend of mine for a while. But he hit me up around November-ish last year and was basically asking like, hey, I'm trying to like book a tour for Sidon. Would you guys be interested in going out with them? And at that time, we were like just getting out of our previous agent situation, and we were looking for something new. And we were also needing an album release tour to be booked, because we had our release date set. We knew when we wanted to go out, like what cities. We just had to make something happen. So me and Cody talked about it for a bit. We decided that was like the right decision to make. Me and the guys did. And we just started working on it. Cody worked his ass off putting that tour together. And both us and Sidon were all super stoked about it. I think it's going to be really fun.
It's a great lineup. I wish you guys were coming to Houston. That's all I can say.
Well,
we'll hope to be back soon. Houston's treated us super well the couple of times that we've been.
Yeah, we have tons of friends there.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know the band, the Zabellion Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
From Houston.
I'm friends with Ivy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're all really good friends with Ivy and Aaron. They're fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, they're great live.
I have a friend in Houston that I went to high school with back when he lived in Atlanta, and Brandon and I's old band Proliferation. When we played a show in Atlanta opening for Navel of Iscaris. He drove from Houston to Atlanta to see the show.
Oh, cool.
And then the first time Tómarúm played in Houston, he brought like 13 people. So I'm always happy to play Houston to see him again. He's been an amazing friend.
That's awesome. It's
I also
always
have-
good when you have friends that support you like that.
I also have
Yeah.
a like a teenage year childhood friend from online. Shout out Victor, a hardwired strength. He's an absolute legend, and he comes out and supports and stuff. And yeah, we absolutely love playing Houston. It's the fucking shit.
Well,
then
I live in the
will
Des
keep my
Moines
fingers
area.
crossed for a tour soon.
Yeah. I live in the Des Moines area, so I will be driving to Kansas City to see y'all.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Awesome, dude.
See you there.
That show. Yeah, not too many people come to Des Moines, and I understand why. This is
We played
Slipknot
Iowa
Central,
City.
so
Back on the Inferi tour, and that was a pretty fun show.
yeah, I think I had to work that night. That's the only reason I didn't go to that. Yeah. But yeah, I will definitely be seeing y'all. And I think it's a Friday night.
Yeah, I think
Kansas
so.
City. So
Yeah,
I will
that
be at
real
that
tiny
show.
venue too. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Sweet.
so I've never seen you guys live. I've wanted to, and I will at some point, I'm sure. But just for somebody who can't see you live or hasn't to this point, what does your stage show look like? I mean, how hard is it to get up there and play 15-minute songs?
I mean, at this point, we've spent so much time practicing both as a unit and individually that it's kind of just in our blood at this point. We just get up there and do it. But it's I feel like our stage show is take what you get on the record and then just make it even more feral and intense. We all just get really really into it, and just kind of, I know I can't speak for anybody else, but me personally, I just get kind of totally lost in their performance. And it feels at points it almost feels like an out of body experience for me. It's just all of it's just, for me, it's just pure passion and intensity and emotion. It's a big catharsis for me. I feel like it's hopefully that way for everybody else in the band, but that's how it is for me.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun. I definitely feel the most alive, and it's funny too because I always thought I would be really nervous and have stage fright and everything, but I really don't. Everything becomes a bit easier to play, and time slows down almost because your adrenaline is just cranked.
Mm-hmm.
But about the long songs, I don't really remember what it's like to play short songs. So the long songs don't really bother me because it's you don't really have to remember a set list. It's I think on the Inferi tour we had 2 songs, so for our 30-minute slot. So it's just oh man, which one? Oh god, what if I forget the next song? You can't.
Well, so on the upcoming tour, I'm assuming you're going to play more than 2 songs, right? Since you're the headliner.
Yeah.
How many do you think you'll get to fit in to your set?
Playing
6 or 7.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of depends. The way that we're kind of structuring our set is we have a 45-minute set planned, and then we're preparing a song off of Ash as if anybody hits us with the one more song thing, on the off chance that does happen, we'll have something ready to go.
I'm sure it'll happen. It'll probably happen in every city.
It's happened before, and then we haven't had anything. We're just we didn't fit enough room in our brains to learn any more songs, so we couldn't play anything except for jazz fusion improvisation.
Yeah, but we're obviously playing a ton of stuff off the new album. We're super stoked to play these live for the first time. We had our first rehearsal for the tour last weekend, and it's already just feeling so good. We can all tell these songs are gonna, at least from our end, these songs feel like they're gonna just go crazy live.
I'm sure they will. Well, I'll catch you next time you come to Houston for sure, whenever that's going to be.
You should do
Hopefully
the one more song thing. You should do a Rick roll. That'd be hilarious.
I don't know if that fits. I don't know if that fits with our vibe. We're goofy off stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really funny because on the Inferi tour specifically, we were just the biggest freaking goofballs off stage, and the other bands, I'm only saying this because they told us they enjoyed being around us and the vibes we had, because no matter if the show is good or bad, we were always just putting smiles on everyone's faces. But then on stage we're the most serious people ever.
Yeah.
It'd just be really strange if we're like up there goofing off to like some of this dark freaking music, man. Like,
Yeah, you got to maintain the image. I get that.
yeah.
That's gonna be like album like 7 territory when it's like Happy Go Lucky Candyland album, and then and then we can fucking do that shit finally when we're like fucking 50 years old.
All right, well, we only got a couple more questions. Number one, of all the albums that have come out this year that you guys have heard, what is your favorite release?
Oh God.
The band Vesperol from Montreal just put out an album last week that I'm pretty obsessed with right now. I would say that one. Trying to think what else. Phil to God just dropped a new solo project today that's like straight 90s Greek black metal worship. That one is fucking phenomenal.
Absolutely amazing.
Trying to think of what else. Desiderium put out an amazing record. Donna Voraboros also. I've had that for like a year because they're like some of my best friends. Their album release tour last month, I played guitar on that, and Chris, our drummer, was playing drums on that as well. But that's still one of my favorites of the year. Those are like the main ones.
For me, it's Desiderium, Keys to the Palace. The way Alex writes just really speaks to me. Ever since Kyle and Brandon introduced me to them and we toured with them, I've just been constantly listening to Shadowburn and Aria. One of my favorite memories of the Inferi tour was traveling through Canada. And it was one of the really extremely long drives, but it was through all those like beautiful mountainscapes and like the really crystal clear lakes where the water isn't like polluted or anything. And you can like, it's like a perfect reflection of like the mountains and the trees and everything. And I'm listening to Morning in the World She Knows off of Aria, and just those beautiful like birds chirping and everything, the clean guitars and stuff. And I was just, oh my God, I texted Alex. I was like, dude, you don't even know what I'm like doing right now, but I just appreciate you. And he was like, what? Yeah, it's
One of those serene
for sure.
moments.
Yeah, I would say.
I'll also say Death Heaven is also pretty high up there, and that Ethel Cain drone album that came out back in January, I messed with pretty heavy too.
Yeah, I'm really digging the Death Heaven myself. It's high up for me at the moment.
Oh, and
that's actually the very first time I've enjoyed a Death Heaven album. It's kind of shocking.
oh really?
I've been a fan of that band for like 12 years. I
Yeah,
love them.
I love Death Heaven. Also, Fallujah.
Oh yeah. Fallujah album is very good.
we have heard the Fallujah album. It is, it is amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Brandon? I know we keep talking over you.
No problem at all. No, yeah, the new Zacridius from Phil is absolutely fucking phenomenal. That just came out today. That just completely blew me away. I was like, dude, this is like out of nowhere, fucking from left field. That's so sick. So that was great. New Fallujah obviously is phenomenal. The new Retromorphosis album was really, really great. And then also, if you guys know Transcending Obscurity Records, I've been getting into their like stuff recently. That new Hacks process that's coming out seems really, really promising. And then Crown of Madness put out a really, really awesome, like kind of dissonant death metal record.
I like that one too.
And so, yeah, that's kind of everything so far. I'm trying to think of anything else that's come out. What else? That's kind of everything I can think of right now.
There's too much every week.
Oh, and the new Desiderium. Yeah. The new Desiderium, I've been absolutely like delving into that on some walks that I've been going on, and it's phenomenal as well. We absolutely love Alex. Big time homie and inspiration for us. So super awesome stuff.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on. It's been a lot of fun getting to know you
us.
and talking about the album. You know, typically when we have one of these interview episodes, we close out the show by playing a track from the album. So which track do you guys think best illustrates everything about Beyond?
Oh,
It's a tough question.
yeah.
I feel like there's not one single song that gives you the full picture.
Me too. That's why I'm throwing it on you.
Yeah.
Halcyon Memory might be my pick.
Yeah, I would say Halcyon Memory.
All right. Well, then we will close out the show with Halcyon Memory, Dreamscapes Across the Blue from Beyond Obsidian Euphoria, which just came out from the incomparable Tómarúm. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This has been a blast, and when you do come through Houston, hit me up. You know, I'll buy you guys some drinks or something.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the next album too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We're already
so
deep in
much.
it.
Yep. Beyond took so long to come out. We're already almost done. Not almost done, but
Don't
we're
forget to add
very
the
deep in the
ukulele.
writing process
You
for
gotta add the
3.
ukulele in there before you finish it off. So.
Oh, you're right.
Absolutely.
I gotta get the Billie Eilish ukulele.
No, thanks so much for having us, guys. This was actually like such a blast. So
Yeah,
thank you.
it was a lot of fun for us too. So thanks, guys.
What am I longing for? I wish those days had never ended. Dreamscapes across the blue, and cityscapes starlight wandering. Presented